There's nothing like a grand final Saturday. The hopeful buzz of what's to come, the nervous anticipation, and the magnitude of all those little moments. And tonight, one of Port Adelaide or West Torrens will leave the field tonight, ending a club curse and leave as premiers. Good evening, everybody. Across Australia and around the world, welcome to Softball SA on beautiful Ghana land for tonight's Premier League Grand Final. Throughout the game, I'm going to be joined by two legendary coaches of the game. Lee Hull, he's doing the announcements on the field right now, but sitting right next to me is the coach the last time West Torrens won a premiership, Anthony Weatherstone. Weathers, should be a fun one.
Hi, Eric. Hey, everybody. I wasn't the last coach.
Oh, okay.
I coached the 5 before that, but
you were in that run.
I was. Yeah, they went another year after me just to prove that it had nothing to do with me, which is fair enough too. No, so it's been a long drought for the Eagles, and look, both they're as ready as they're ever going to be.
Well, I'm glad you're here because you know as good as anybody here that premierships are hard to come by even for the best of players. And what a group of players West Torrens has assembled over the last 5 years in particular. A golden generation of talent that's had to settle for silver. 2 grand finals that they've lost in agonizing fashion, a minor premiership that resulted in a straight sets loss. Final softball hasn't exactly been kind to the West Torrens Eagles. But if you really want to know how elusive grand finals are, look no further than the Port Adelaide Magpies. This is a once-in-a-generation moment. No, it's a once-in-a-2-generation moment for this proud club because it's been over 50 years in the Premier League, and this is the first grand final they've played. And we said it in the last broadcast, never the bride, always the bridesmaid, and that doesn't apply to either of these clubs. Port Adelaide, they haven't been invited to a wedding. West Torrens, they've been engaged but left at the altar, but they're getting married tonight to that premiership, and it should be a good one. It's going to be a big celebration. Whether that's the story, how do we expect this is going to unfold?
Don't know how to follow all that up. Look, I mean, it's a really tough game to get to, and when you get to it, I remember the first time I went through it, I didn't enjoy it, and you know.
Let's talk about the pitchers, though, in it, because Steph Trzynski, the woman you seen on screen, she's going to play a key part for West Torrens.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that softball has a lot to do with how good your pitcher is, and I mean, she's the best pitcher in the league, so that's going to put West Torrens in good stead to go a long way. She's had an amazing year, great strikeouts, great control, and she's also added with offense as well. So, really pivotal player.
What was it about Steph that you liked in that, you saw the highlights package versus Sturt in that game to qualify for this championship game? What was it about that you liked Steph in that last finals game?
Yeah, it's funny. When she was on the broadcast commentating one of the games, I remember she said that her job's not to throw strikes, it's to throw balls. But when you watch that type of, those cuts there we just saw, a lot of batters are getting after her because she's so hard to hit because she's making you think that you can hit her and she's challenging you, and that's the great thing about being a great pitcher.
Well, if people are going to hit her, you're probably looking in the middle of the lineup. The dual calf coral medalist combination of Jess Maslin and Yo Grauer, they have been impactful, to say the least, to this club.
Yeah, they've looked, absolutely. I mean, both power hitters who can put the ball over, and both have, through the course of the season. So Jess Maslin's a huge pickup because she's one of the only players in that Port Adelaide lineup that actually brings grand final winning experience to it.
Yo Grauer, she can hit, she can pitch. She's going to be able to determine. We'll say with Steph Trzynski, they could both do it. It's almost like they kind of cancel each other out, and that's the matchup right there.
Yeah, and she was really impressive on the weekend against a very brave Sturt team who, under duress played a great game, but she held her nerve and did some great things.
Maslin, you see that long ball ability. This is their head-to-head matchup during the season, but it's tough to look into this too much because you don't always get the best on best going at each other in terms of Grauer. She's only played a handful of games versus West Torrens. West Torrens has only pitched Steph Trzynski a handful of times versus the Magpies. Tonight is truly best on best. This is versus each other when their aces are going at each other. So this is their head-to-head. I don't know what you make of this. It's so eerily similar looking at these numbers.
Yeah, absolutely it is. It's Absolutely. The thing about when you look at those numbers is they're very close. So not a lot is going to split them tonight. Tonight it could be down to one thing. So, they've only played the one game against each other through the season, which was back in November for round 6, which was Grau versus Trzynski.
Now, these are the numbers of the players you might be looking for in terms of how do you decipher who's going to get some hits. Now, obviously, the Eagles a little bit of more success against the Port Adelaide ace. There's not a lot of players on that list of Magpies who have got hits for Steph Trzynski.
Yeah, but that would be the same against all teams versus Steph. She's that dominant, so it's going to be a tough night for them. But look, they've beaten who they've beaten to get to the finals. So it's going to be important for them to have confidence going to the plate.
We're going to pause for a moment as they're about to sing the national anthem on the field, and then we're going to get underway with the grand final. A drought is going to end for somebody, and we can't wait to bring you along for the ride. Well, a very faint national anthem, but a national anthem nonetheless. Weathers, when you're coaching a grand final team, everything feels a little bit different. It does for the fans at least, it does for me at least, and I'm not even playing in the game. Players don't have a national anthem before a normal game. Can you walk me through what the game day experience is like for a club when you wake up and know, oh man, we got to wait 10 hours before we play that game?
Yeah, look, it's a weird day. It's a long day. Back in my time at the Eagles, the leadership group, the experienced players would get together the night before and carbo load, even the coach. But the reality was the club always used to hold a breakfast on the morning. So we would always meet down in the morning and you're sort of just going over plans and you're just talking about things. But the simple reality was, and it took me a while to learn it, is just the more you make it like a regular season game, the better off you'll be. And I had to lose one first to figure that out. And when you let them just play and you try and keep things normal, it's when you try and put extra things on top of it, it sort of creates a bit of pressure. But it's funny watching their warm-ups tonight. Eagles, very relaxed, very methodical. They know the timing. They know what's going on. Port's been very energetic. It's been very upbeat. It's been very loud. But it's also seemed a little nervous because, they're not sure what to do. It's an hour and a half prep warm-up for this particular game. So it's a bit weird, but handling the moment, that's going to be the key of the night.
Well, handling the moment, if that's the theme, that's very well put. This is the defense that West Torrens are going to roll out. It's a very similar name now in left field. That's Brody Borovnik, not Brody Nick Borov, but I like it. That's a good nickname. Mary Foose out in right field. The infield, that hot corner of Sophie Hoyle and Lana Kaesler, they're going to command a lot of attention tonight, just as they have all season long. Amber Hood, their recruit over at second base. It's a pretty solid defense, to be honest. Yeah,
and you look at that lineup. So Amber Hood obviously played in the Hills Grand Final losing team last year, where she was catching, obviously, her sister, Georgia. So tonight, different role.
Here, the numbers that drop off the page, look at that second from the bottom, the walks, 2 walks, and that doesn't include her 7 innings that she pitched versus Sturt, which she allowed no more walks. So it's almost 90 innings of pitches for Steph Trzynski, and both of her walks, funny enough, have come against the Magpies.
Well, the funny thing is, the last time we saw Steph versus the Magpie was round 17, and she was dominant that night. It was a Wednesday night. They won 3-0, but she was all over Port Adelaide that particular night. They didn't have an answer for her. So, but same. The flip side of that, of course, is that there's a little bit of expectation around the Eagles. There's a bit of pressure on them as well. So it's going to be a tough night. We're
going to bring in our expert commentator, Lee Hull, very quickly. Who do you like in this lineup for the Magpies?
Well, I like the top 2 for starters, young people, Gemma Letton and Taylor Chillingworth, and then, of course, the power of Grau and Massey.
Lee Hull, Anthony Weatherstone, Eric Balnar bringing you all the action. That is one dialed-in woman, Steph Trzynski, in the circle, ball in hand. Gemma Letton up to bat. And the grand final is underway. Two teams both trying to shake some sort of curse. West Torrens just trying to learn how to win again after that long stretch that was half a generation ago. They've come so close so many times. Port Adelaide, they've never been in this moment. It's all new for them. Letton, someone with a lot of speed, who's put together a huge year.
Yes, she has, and been rewarded with the selection in the national South Australian Stars side for the Nationals here, beginning 30th of April. Be here if you can then. I realise a lot of people work, unlike some of us, like me, but it'll be fantastic. You'll get to see the best players in Australia play.
Steph Trzynski, one of those best players. She won't be here for that tournament because she's off to Japan, I think, this week. So this is a big send-off for her, trying to complete what she came to West Torrens for. And she strikes out a dangerous hitter to start the game.
Yes, great pitching by Steph against Gemma there. Gemma's had a really great season, but unfortunately so far in the finals hasn't had the normal impact that she's had through regular season. She's currently zipped for 7, but every time she goes to the plate, she looks likely. Chillingworth at the plate now has had hits against Steph before this season.
And she's gonna send one up the middle, but it's right towards center field where Jackie Beal brings that in. We're gonna look at the leading team's replay, but Jackie Beal was another impactful player, especially late down the stretch and defensively in that prelim or in the qualifying final as well. She's made her mark on this team.
Yeah, she has. She has, coming back from that injury too. So, yeah, big bat here for Joe. Find out whether or not she's going to commit early in the count.
Yo Grauer takes the first pitch. It's a big matchup, and the equation changes when there's nobody on base.
It does, but that was a very good pitch. That low pitch of Steph's a terrific pitch. It's hard to do anything with it. All you're going to do is ground out.
Grauer won the Kath Carroll medalist for Best and Fairest 2 years ago. Steph Trzynski won it last year. We might have a new winner tonight. We'll find out a little bit after the broadcast, or we might have a repeat winner. We don't know.
Yeah, there'll be some messaging here between these two, the way that, Steph will want to be on top of Joe early in the circle, and Joe will want to make an impact with the bat early, because they're both mirrors of each other in regards to the fact that they're both power hitters. They're both awesome pitchers, so it's just the battle here right now tonight.
You can break down this complicated and nuanced game as much as you want, but when it really comes down to it, these two women going head-to-head right now. They can both do it with the bat. They can both do it in the circle. It might just come down to those two. Grauer gets jammed a little bit right towards Lana Kaesler, who makes the play at short. And it's a fairly straightforward 1-2-3 inning for West Torrens, and I'm sure that will take away a little bit of the nerves.
Yeah, Steph challenging bat speed on the hands, which is one of her go-tos there. You always know that she's on if she's throwing that pitch, and it's working. So, I mean, first innings you're going to be probing, you're going to be seeing what's getting called. Carly threw a good mix through that first innings just to see if there's any particular part of the plate that's going to get called more so than the others. So, but now it's really important for Port Adelaide to be able to answer that. A quick innings would be nice. A no base run innings would be nice, but the reality is they just want to be able to go in at top 2 and be ready to sort of go 0-all. But it's a very powerful Eagles lineup.
Well, here's a look at the defense for the Magpies, and it's a mixture of youth and experience. Experienced players like Jess Maslin in left field. The right fielder, Liz Engler, played in the NCAA. Jess Neves, very experienced Premier League player, but just teenagers on the left side of the diamond in Chillingworth, in Callahan. But it's a nice little mix-up.
It certainly is, and that's what you need, don't you, really? In the game of softball, you need a mix. You need the experience, just showing the way to the young people, and the young people just grabbing the bit between the teeth, as they say, and working from there.
Joanna Grauer holding batters to an under 200 average. Her walks, especially in the late part of the season, have gone down. In fact, they've been non-existent in the finals. That ERA right around 2, and man, oh man, she is a strikeout machine. And these are her numbers versus the Eagles. 1 earned run in 17 innings. Is that good?
Yeah, you take that. For sure. I mean, as Lee's point, you know, that blend is really important. I think you said on Eric on Wednesday night, that left side of Port's infield, very young, Chillingworth and Callaghan, and they had the ball sieved at them all night long, and they came up trumps. With Joe pitching, I'd expect much the same. So it's going to be a big night for them. Only Burr and Maslin are the only ones that have actually had finals experience.
Talented hitting lineup, top to bottom. Amber Hood, one of the toughest at-bats that you will face. And you've got players like Sophie Hoyle in the middle, who is an RBI machine. If they can get the first couple runners on, that'll set it up for a dangerous middle of the lineup, as you'd expect from a team that is in the grand final. Amber Hood, that .531 on-base percentage. She knows how to work a pitcher.
Fantastic, isn't it? .531, you'd take that any day of the week.
Came over to replace, well, replace is probably the wrong word, but that's effectively what is needed to happen. The production of Jordan Harris, who did not play this season. She's got mom strength now, though. And Jordy, one of the most productive players in the competition over the last half-decade or so. Her number's almost impossible to replace, but Amber Hood doing as good as a job as you probably could do to table set at the top of this lineup. And we know that Jordy would kill to be played in this game tonight.
For sure.
In a 4-pitch walk, the first one of the finals for Yo Grauer, and Amber Hood does what Amber Hood does best, and that's find a way to get on base.
Yeah, that's what you don't want to obviously see in a final, is free things like that. But it shows the respect that they hold Amber Hood in, that they don't want to challenge her early. So
ball in the dirt, and it's just enough for Amber Hood to scamper into scoring position.
that looks like it's hit Tilton on the hand there, on the outside hand. So that's not good. That's going to hurt.
Jackie Beal, the batter, one of the only lefties in the competition. Weathers, you did mention free bases just a minute ago. That's been a huge talking point for West Torrens, especially in that game versus Sturt. They took a lot of free bases and they did not give any away. Beal still showing bunt. Jackie Beal's being creative this year about how she's found ways to get on base. A bunt down the line, even when situation doesn't necessarily call for it, she can run.
Or in the final that she played against Sturt, she had that one where she did that slow roller to second base and not only advanced the run to the third, but got herself on as well.
Shows bunt again, and it's tipped away, so that will probably eliminate that from the equation.
Yes, so now she's behind the 8 ball here a little bit, but she's a good player, Jackie. She tracks the ball down to the hitting position.
Beal taking another pitch, so it evens up the count at 2-2. You get the feeling that there's probably not going to be a lot of runs scored in this game if it does go to script. So converting on early opportunities is going to be important.
Yeah, you could see by Coach Scott pushing both of those bunts, even on the second strike, even with the runner at 2, how conscious they are of just putting the ball into play to advance the runner, try and get them to third. Yo's ground, but her drop ball is dangerous because if it falls short, it falls in the dirt. Tilton does a great job protecting, but you don't want to take that risk early.
What a gritty at-bat now from Jackie Beal.
It certainly is, and I've been really impressed with Jackie since she's come up from batting 9-2, and she just looks as if she's full of confidence. That's what you need, don't you, when you bat up the order? Confidence is a big thing. Getting closer.
Just slashing them away.
Yeah, but she's seeing the ball really well,
Yep.
so which is a positive sign. We've already gone past more pitches than Port had for their 3 hitters, so and we're only on the second batter and we haven't got an out yet, so danger signs here early.
Great pitch.
Well, Yo Grauer wins the battle, but it was a heck of a battle because Jackie Beal made her work for it.
Yeah, so instead of a fast drop there, she's just backed it off and just concentrated on ball spin, and she's just come up with a slower drop there and just beaten Jackie for pace, but importantly kept the ball in the air.
Lana Kaesler hitting 279 on the year, hovering around that mark for most of the season. Got a runner in scoring position right now, and they have the part of the lineup you'd probably want. Kaesler and Hoyle back to back. Trzynski, if it gets that far, will follow. Kaesler being one of those integral parts of the last few seasons of this Eagles team that has been oh so close. They've brought over players like Hoyle, Hood, and Trzynski, but Kaesler's been a part of it all the way.
You see Amber Hood getting massive lead-offs there at second.
No cover at the moment,
No,
is there?
there's nothing, so...
So the rule is go down as far as the nearest person because you're going to beat them back.
Takes another big hop, but it's a strikeout. Kaesler goes down looking, and Yo Grauer has gone back-to-back huge strikeouts.
Yeah, that was great pitching by Yo. So not going to get any easier here with Sophie Hall at the plate.
RBI machine. Hoyle's been with the Eagles for a few seasons now. She's also played in a grand final. Remember, she played back with Glenelg a few years ago. They came just short as well. Just short, a very common theme for the Eagles, and Sophie Hoyle just battling her perception of the strike zone a little bit. It's in play, leaping back to make the play.
You could see Yo throw her arms up there. She knew how important that out was, so that's a great catch by Chillingworth. Didn't overcommit early, so...
Great look at the leading team's replay. If that drops, look
It's a run.
where Hood was. That would have scored a run easily. So the teenager, Taylor Chillingworth, making an imprint on the game early. It is a 0-0 game. We will be back with inning 2 after this. Well, welcome back. Jess Maslin about to step to the plate. A big support group, by the way, all the way down both the left and right field lines and in the grandstand. It's even in the outfield, it's a festive occasion. And those people sitting in left field need to be careful because Jess Maslin has that ability to launch one down in that direction.
She certainly does, and she's done it this year, hasn't she, this season? And what a beautiful night it is, Eric and Anthony, isn't it, to play softball in a grand final. Fantastic.
23 degrees, 15k wind from the southwest, no chance of rain. Yeah, it's a good night.
Maslin came over from Seacombe at the start of this year. Seacombe didn't have a team in the Premier League competition. So a couple of their key players, another one being Jade Peterson, Jess Maslin another, went and got opportunities elsewhere, and Jess Maslin might have been that missing ingredient that Port needed, that extra veteran presence. A former CAF Coro medalist, she's got a big bat, and most importantly, she knows how to win. Maslin has won everywhere she's gone. She's won a softball premiership before as a youngster with Seacombe. She's won 2 women's grand finals, one with Gawler, one with Glenelg, and is playing in one tomorrow. Yeah, she knows how to win.
Yep. Well, they say, Eric, winning is like losing. It's, it's catching, isn't it? You know, a lot of people, look, in all sports, but softball especially, like Steph Trzynski's, that used to winning games, it becomes a habit, a very good habit.
Maslin in play, Steph Trzynski. Think she's sharp tonight?
How quick was the reflex on that? Far out.
We'll get a look at the leading team's replay. How's the cat-like reflexes?
Well, she's throwing that ball at 100 Ks at Maslin, and granted, Maslin didn't get all of it, but it still went back nice and sharp, and she's gloved that clean as a warm-up. That's impressive.
Charlize Callahan up to bat.
That was a really good batter by Steph. She went to that outside corner and she missed one, and very, very close, and she went straight back to the same pitch and tipped that edge and got it. That's a great sign that she's going to challenge, and Carly also, the fact that she went back to it. So obviously throwing a bit of a game plan there, which is they're dialed in for sure, both teams, which is great.
Yeah, both pitchers will certainly challenge you. If you're batting, you've got a bat in your hand, they'll challenge you for sure.
Callahan puts it into play. Sure-handed Kelsey Nucky scoops it up, steps on the bag. 2 down. So the big 5 batters at the top of this lineup go down in order. Now we'll see what the bottom half can do, and this is a promising young talent in Georgia Burr.
Yeah, she had the 2 hits in the first semi against Walkerville. So, and she's obviously played in last year's grand final with Sturt. So
she's got more premiership winning experience than a few of the West Torrens players at a young age. Came over to Port Adelaide this year. Tash Straps went the other direction from Port Adelaide over towards Sturt.
It was like a swap, wasn't it?
It was like a trade, yeah.
Yeah, trade.
Trade deadline deal.
Unofficial trade.
Lots of energy coming from the dugout over with Port Adelaide. You can hear the drumming against the back benches of the tin shed.
yeah, it feels like there's about 30,000 people here at the moment. So.
And Steph Trzynski showing no emotion. Focused. Patience from Georgia Burr.
Steph's expression never changes, does it? Doesn't matter whether the bases are loaded or there's nobody on. She's, like you said, focused, completely focused.
A player that's been on the national team radar for a while, and she missed that pitch by maybe a centimeter.
Yeah, but you can see what she's doing. She's mitigating risk here. She got ahead early in the count, which is her go-to. She's a 70% first strike pitcher, and then beyond that, the last couple of pitches have been edges.
Up the middle. It was a good effort from Amber Hood to try to block it down, but it's a base hit for Georgia Burr. If anything, that will give maybe some confidence at least to the rest of the batting lineup.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it lots of times before, but using the pace of the pitcher and just trying to get good contact is the key, rather than trying to put it to the fence. So
good look at the leading team's replay, and that was just a little punch up the middle to a spot where it was really difficult to field. So now Cara Tilton steps up. Extra bases could score Georgia Burr. Ball slips up high.
be interesting to see whether or not Coach Lucas here it's one out. He's got some speed at first. And he's got two long ball hitters. We've just got a slight delay here for...
There's some sound, some noise going on somewhere behind us, isn't there? Feedback coming through the speakers, I think, over on the baseball grandstand. And that, in the middle of an at-bat, can't be the best feeling in the world for a pitcher.
Is there a baseball game over there?
There's feedback coming, I think, from the baseball field. There's noise coming from somewhere. Steph, I think, is... There we go, and they finally got it fixed up. A little bit of applause around the crowd, so just a slight delay. Back to it, 1-1 count, Cara Tilton. Whether you're talking about the aggression that Ben Lucas has shown on the base pass, that defining moment in the prelim final came back in the first inning when he sent Taylor Chillingworth, who had that double, tried to stretch it into a triple. She got there and scored on the pass ball.
Yeah, great call, great call. I mean, you got an opportunity here at 2 out. It's a, you know, she's got wheels. You can show that you're going to be prepared to put a bit of pressure on. Test Carly's arm early in the game. Tilton's been a great tough out through the final series.
2-2 count. You've certainly got to take anything you can get when you're going against the likes of a Steph Trzynski.
And you've got to be in the count early. You mentioned that. You need to stay in front if you can. Quality pitcher, just got to do, you've got to just try and outthink her.
Full count. This could find a gap, diving over, trying to make a play as Kaesler, but it's back-to-back hits. With 2 outs, it's Burr, it's Tilton, and it's a runner in scoring position for the first time of the day for the Magpies. Well, Elizabeth Engler has played some NCAA softball before with very good numbers. She's put together some very good seasons in Germany with Bonn. She's come over and only played the second half of the year. As Trzynski winds, she has yet to record a base hit. You know the talent is there. She's had some good swings at it. One has not dropped. This would be a mighty fine time to find a base hit.
It certainly would.
It's a loopy swing, and it's an 0-2 count. Steph Trzynski, a strikeout pitcher with only 1 today.
Good change of pace there by Steph. So, again, concentrating on ball spin and location.
Engler holds off, and it's a good call because it's the first ball in the count.
Some patient batting by the Magpies, isn't it, in this innings?
As compared to the first inning, which took maybe 6 pitches.
Maybe nerves then, maybe.
Engler just stays alive. Doesn't need to be a big booming hit. A hit to the outfield very well could score a run. You figure that in most places, Georgia Burr is gonna get the wave around. Big pitch. Engler swings through. Trzynski with a crucial strikeout. The Magpies get 2 runners on, but Trzynski gets out of the jam, and it stays scoreless.
Yeah, so the important thing there for the Magpies was that it was contact. They got bat on ball, and that's what got them on. So they weren't trying to muscle the ball through fielders. They, you know, like might not have been clean off the bat, but in both situations they got bat on ball and they got on base. That'll be super positive for them, especially coming back through the lineup and communicating that. So it'd be interesting to see now Torrens' take. I've always said that Yo's early, and obviously watching her in the warm-up tonight, you know, as ridiculous as it sounds, the inexperience of the finals, you know, she's probably warming up earlier than she's expecting to, because obviously we've got to go through the ceremony part of it. So you just wonder, does that first 5 minutes, she looked much more settled towards the end of that innings. So I'm expecting her to sort of carry on with that.
It's a good call. It was a very unsettled start even for the Port Adelaide batters, who just used 6 pitches, and all of a sudden their first batting attempt was over, and then the 4-pitch walk to Amber Hood, but strikeout, and then a nice grab from Chillingworth kept the runs off the board. This will be the second time batting for the Eagles in the second inning. Obviously, Steph Trzynski, Kelsey Nucky, Brody Borovnik due up. Trzynski, the reigning Calf Coral medalist, so the current queen of softball, and she's got a good looking swing.
So you could just see, just felt as Steph walked to the plate, she likes to go early in the count, and it'd be interesting to see what Yo would throw, and she went straight to her screwball, right on her hand straight away. So best pitch straight up off the bat.
Got to go at her up and in.
You mentioned it before, Eric, that pitchers like playing against each other, don't they? They like pitching against each other. There's just a little unwritten rule that I must keep on top of her. Sit her down if I can.
Well, these are two of the best, if not the best, in the state going head-to-head.
So Yo, you can see just working her inside here at the moment. So still behind in the count, but I'd expect her to push the outside edge now.
Trzynski goes down, loops one to right field. It just goes foul. Elizabeth Engler was watching that.
Some power in that, wasn't there? In that shot, it went the fair way.
Well, I think, as James would say, I believe she's using the Ghost, which is available at MSC Sportswear. But all the best hitters use the Ghost, which you can pick up down there. So
the Ghost does talk.
Good battle between these two.
Well, she walked the lead off in the first innings, and as far as dangerous lead-offs to walk, Trzynski scored 24 runs, has some stolen bases. Probably don't want to send her up there for nothing.
And a swing and a miss. Big pitch from Yo Grauer, her third strikeout. And she wins a very engaging battle.
Yeah, I thought she would have gone back and away. Most of her pitching was on the inside. I thought she'd try and was setting her up for something on the outside, but Tilton kept on calling what was working, and yeah, great pitch.
It worked. Talk about some of those core Eagles like Lana Kaesler. Kelsey Nucky, certainly one of them. She's been over at first base for this Eagles side for a number of years now.
And so reliable, Eric.
Yeah, she's had a good last month, putting the ball into play. Good turn, turns on the ball really well. So
when she gets hot, she gets hot. We've seen that over the last few years. And it looks like she's peaking at the right time.
Well, it's rare that you would say that a side would bat to 9, but genuinely, you look down the Eagles lineup. I mean, you've got a batter in Carly Allen who's batting 386, you know, batting at 8, who's a veteran but has, you know, winning finals experience. They've got Danny Baskai, who's played, you know, for the Queensland Heat, sitting on the bench. So, you know, they've got some depth, and so for Yo and Cara Tilton tonight, I mean, there's going to be no let-off. They're going to have to go the distance the whole way through the lineup.
Another strikeout. 4 for Yo Grauer. She's a big-time strikeout pitcher and just got that one inside. Well, Brody Borovnik, those numbers that you see on screen, probably not really fair to the caliber of player that she is and has been in the finals and in key games down the stretch.
Yeah, another turner on the ball. You know, she's also had a hit against Grauer in regular season.
Yeah, so this will be a good time because it's looking like a pitcher's duel as we thought it may do before the start of the game.
When you walked around the ground and you asked people for predictions, you feel like 9 out of 10 people said 2-1, and it was kind of a coin flip for who that would be. Shows you a little bit about what the hype and expectation of this game would be. 2-1 might even be high scoring.
We had a 2-1 game on Wednesday evening. That was a cracker of a game.
What a game.
Yep.
You feel like the magnitude of little moments will be big, and here could be one towards right field. And it's caught by Angler in right field. She had to make a late adjustment to it, but either way, she makes the play. Let's look at the leading team's replay.
Yeah, really well judged. It fell on her, but yeah, that's a good solid catch. That'll do wonders for her confidence.
Well, we're into it now. No score, 0-0. Eric, Anthony, and Lee back with you in the third. Beautiful night here in West Beach, home of softball in South Australia and beautiful Ghana land. It's a nice golden tint. Someone's going to be golden tonight. They're winning the grand final. Port Adelaide in their first ever Premier League grand final in their club's history, and that grandstand is chock full of Port supporters. Eagles seem to be occupying the outer part of the grounds. It's a no-score game. Steph Trzynski's allowed 2 hits, 2 soft singles, struck out 2. Yo Grauer struck out 4. It's a pitcher's duel. We expected it to be that way. Jess Neves leads things off for Port Adelaide. Jammed just a little bit inside. She made a return to the game with just only a handful of games left to go in the regular season after she just had a child.
Yeah, she struggled when she got back to, obviously, you know, it must be difficult to come back into her season in February. And she was about, you know, took her a couple of weeks to find her feet. But just as of late, the last couple of weeks, she's had a couple of decent shots. So she's starting to get back to the form that we're used to.
One of Lee's favorites.
Yeah, certainly is. I coached her at Port Adelaide when she was a very young girl. A lovely person she is.
Lee, you're a former coach at Port Adelaide. Can you get a sense of what this means to the club tonight?
Ought to be everything, I would think. You know, just getting here to the grand final would be super for them. And it's there. It's there for the taking.
We said it at the top of the broadcast. It's not just a once-in-a-generation grand final. It's a once-in-a-two-generation grand final tonight.
Yeah, certainly is. And look at the strike zone she's got, Jess. She presents with a very short, small strike zone. So bide your time. You get the base on balls if you can. Hit what you have to hit.
Well, Steph Trzynski's only walked 2 batters now in over 90 innings, including the finals this year. But the last few batters, they've worked it up to that 3-ball territory.
Well, the thing that's noticeably different from that round 17 game on a Wednesday night is that Port are letting her pitch. So it's a dangerous game.
But it's a walk.
but it could work if you're prepared to take the risk. Because, I mean, I can't think of anything worse trying to hit Steph Trzynski on 2 strikes. But again, it's not the amount of pitches that she's going to throw that's going to tire her out. Steph's too good of an athlete for that. But you're asking her to deliver every time she throws.
Gemma Letton, the smiling assassin, comes up to the plate. It's a leadoff base runner for Port Adelaide. Make it 3 walk batters in just over 90 innings for Steph Trzynski. All 3 have come versus Port Adelaide, 0 versus the other clubs. But a runner on board. Either way, Letton lays down the bunt. She's quick down the base pass. Bang, bang play. She's just called out. She was close. Either way, she does the job of putting a runner in scoring position. You felt like that was coming with her wheels, and we'll see how close this was on the leading team replay.
Yeah, look, I mean, she obviously set up for that late to try and catch the defense out as best she can. But the best thing that Gemma did there was that she focused on getting the bunt into play on the ground, keeping her hands high and advancing the runner.
And not worrying about herself necessarily.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why it's called a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah.
Chillingworth was the real X factor in the preliminary final. This is a good look at the leading team's replay and how close this was.
Oh.
A footstep away.
Yeah.
If Steph didn't play that ball as well as she did, she's easily on base.
Excellent running from second base, Amber Hood. She covered a lot of ground to get there and quickly.
But just now, she needs to put pressure on Amber and Carly in this situation. She needs to really try and force them to think about throwing. Chillingworth got to just try and put the ball into play here.
And a swing and a miss from Taylor Chillingworth, a junior that's come up the Port Adelaide ranks. Last year, she had that phenomenal season. This year, the number's not quite the same, but certainly an impactful player in all those key moments that Port Adelaide needed.
Yeah, had a good shot in the first, well caught by Jackie Bill.
Puts the ball in play, played by Kaesler across the diamond. Nucky makes the play. They're regressing over to third. Out! Eagles defense makes a huge play. Kaesler gives one across the diamond and gets one out on the other side. Look at the leading team's replay. That is close, and what a bang-bang play that is.
Yeah, Jess probably just needed to be a bit deeper on her lead, but she was trying to make them hold the throw.
Literally
runs in, gets an
inches on both sides.
Yeah, bang bang play, but I suppose like on Wednesday night, Coach Lucas challenged the Sturt defense and came up with the runner.
We're going to go quickly now. David, we talked about the impact of this club. David Muggleton is with Rowena Travaskis, a longtime member of the Port Adelaide Magpies in the grandstands. David, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing down there, boys?
Very good. What's going on?
Well, I'm sitting next to Rowena Travaskis, who was a first base for the Port Adelaide Magpies starting in the late 90s. Now, Rowena, there's a couple of, who are some of your teammates? Because I've got a feeling some of those names might be a bit familiar.
Yes, well, we've got Lenny Callahan and Elisa Chillingworth, who were my teammates back in the 90s. We actually went through together to play one of probably Port's only finals appearances back in the day when they split at A1, A2. But it's great to see Lenny and Elisa's 2 daughters out there playing tonight in Taylor and Charlize.
So how does it feel as being a legacy Magpie player, just to be sitting here watching your Port Adelaide Magpies play in a grand final?
An absolute proud life member I am today. Couldn't think of anything better.
Thank you. Back to you, boys.
Rowena Travaskis stepped in at the end of last year and helped coach this Magpies team, so she's been part of this story in a few different ways, and I think she said it pretty cool. That must be an awesome feeling to watch some of your teammates' kids be the ones to help get you to the grand finals. Carly Allen knocks that away foul.
Runs are at a premium, aren't they? Runs in this game so far.
They're pricey, aren't they?
Yep.
They're expensive.
Yeah, that last play, just again with one out and Jess trying to protect that runner. obviously been aggressive, which is really positive. It worked for him on Wednesday, but when you've got Grauer coming to the plate and a runner at 2.
And Maslin. Yep.
Well, Yo Grauer walked the first batter of the game. Since then, she's gone 7 up, 7 down, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd said that the Eagles were going to be, their 9th hitter was going to be coming up in the 3rd innings, I would have said that's probably unlikely. But she's doing a great job at the moment. But
Mary Foose. Now, she's had a couple clutch hits.
yeah, like Lee was saying before with Neves, with that smaller zone. But what Foose does is she's got great inside-out power. And
she can drive the ball pretty good.
Yep, she certainly can. This would be a good time to do it.
Well, it's got completely dark now at West Beach. The sun has set. The lights.
They're taking effect.
They are. Turned this ballpark into a little bit of a theater tonight, Lee.
It certainly has. A lot of people here watching, which we appreciate as an association, don't we?
Foose fouled away. And you just get the feeling that a run could be the run.
well, the thing is, the Eagles will feel they've got a little bit of momentum after that play. You've got a runner in scoring position. They make a double and throw it across the plate and make a play at 3rd. So they're up and about now, and they're about to come back through the top of their line.
It's a good point. It was a big defensive play even before that from Steph Trzynski that gunned down the fast-running Gemma Letton on a bunt play. And then the double play that Kaesler threw it across the diamond to Nucky, who barely was on the bag, but just enough to get it out. And then a picture-perfect throw from Nucky back to Kaesler took the biggest scoring threat of the game out so far. Amber Hood was standing on second base with no outs in the first inning, and then Grauer went strikeout. And then Chillingworth made that fantastic defensive play as well. So both teams are kind of 1-1 on big defensive plays in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Eagles pride themselves on probably having the league's best defense.
Foose swings through. 6 for Yo Grauer the first time through the lineup.
And the best time to bring Amber Hood to the plate is at 2 out. So that's important for Port Adelaide.
The only person on West Torrens that has managed to walk out of that batter's box and towards first base today. Making contact has been hard for West Torrens so far.
She's got such a great eye, but she still backs herself even late in the count to be able to turn that into, if she needs to swing because of the situation, and that's what makes her such a great player, Amber Hood.
That's an excellent point you make. She's patient. That's the main thing I find with Amber. And when you're the lead-off, that's what you need to be, don't you? You need to get your money's worth. Take it to a full count if you can. That's an excellent turn at bat if you can do that.
Yeah. And if you take a strike, that's okay.
Yep.
It's just 1 strike. And Hood into play. What a grab by Chillingworth, and the throw sails a little bit, and Hood will hustle over towards second. It's a shame because it was a great take over at shortstop, but the throw goes wayward, and the Eagles have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, she did everything right. I mean,
Yep.
she did. It was a difficult ball to field. It's kicked on her late. But unfortunately, she's just thrown off of her back leg and obviously got underneath the ball, and it's gone high and over. So she was, Chillingworth and both Callaghan were both hot on Wednesday. So she needs to clear her mind of that and get straight back onto the next pitch because it's game on here.
Jackie Beal.
And you look at that lead-off by Georgia Hood. Straight away, she's already halfway down that line at second to third, and immediately catcher's having to look.
And no cover from the shortstop or second base.
Well, you reckon Port Adelaide would probably be backing Yo Grauer in this instance.
Yeah, so you can see Taylor just got underneath it there. But it was a great field in the first place.
Beal bats it foul. Second time through.
Yeah, she's looked really good tonight, Jackie Beal. She's had a lot of contact on the ball, a lot of foul balls. Both of her at-bats have been deep in counts, so...
Her first at-bat was, what, 8 or 9 pitches? Yeah. It was lengthy. Puts it in play. Grauer gathers, makes the out. So the error is not costly. We've played 3, Magpies 0, Eagles 0. We've got a nail-biting grand final. Eagles defense was huge in their last defensive innings, and you figure they're going to have to be throughout the game. No score, and both pitchers having a gem of it so far.
Yeah, they're both on top at the moment, but there's still signs there from both offenses that there's some scattered contact enough to make you think that there's something there.
Ball in play across the diamond, and the throw sails a little bit, and Yo Grauer is going to be a leadoff runner for Port Adelaide.
That's what pressure does, doesn't it? You put the ball on the deck, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, it got jammed, which is the same thing that happened in her first at-bat. Sophie Hall does a good job of picking it up, but the throw's just a touch high for Kels, and they recover it quickly. The experience of Yo there too, not to test Amber's arm.
Ball in play again. Kaesler steps on the bag for 1, over for 2, called safe. Eagles defense almost turned another trick, leading teams replay.
Yeah, so Jess has gone early in the count, so 2 first pitch swings.
Just got there in time. This will be a good look at the replay. This would have been a tough one to call. Andrew Scott having a word. I think she's just there.
No.
You think maybe short?
Just theatre, I think, at the moment. Just you're not going to get a call like that overturned.
Not when it's that close.
No.
Don't know if we can slow this down at all, but oh, this is in slow speed. This will be a good look at the leading team's replay. Great play from Kaesler. And that is tight.
Very tight indeed, but Kaesler was acting like a little cat then, wasn't she? Swooped on it, made the out and tried for the double.
But in the case of 3 pitches, we've had 2 base runners and we're at 2 out. So it's all happened pretty quick.
Charlize Callahan, Georgia Burr still due up, but
1 out, sorry, I'll take that back.
Just there at the same time. Ball to the outfield. Big shot, big catch from Mary Foose out in right field.
And see what happens when you play in closer there at right field? You get those opportunities. Well handled, Mary.
She must listen to your commentary, Lee.
Well, she's probably got better things to do, I think.
Georgia Burr. Eagles defense.
So definitely sensing a change in Port's offense here. Their intent at the plate has changed significantly. They're not looking now. They are actively, anything that's around the zone, they're going straight after it.
Ball outside. We've already almost reached the midway point of this game. A runner has not moved past second base yet in this game. Trzynski finds the edge. Not the same strikeout volume that we've seen from Steph Trzynski, but she has not really induced a lot of hard contact, has she?
No, just watching her, I mean, I don't have the speed gun on her, unfortunately, tonight, but it's obvious that, to me, just watching her, she's taken a little bit of pace off, and
like
she's
that.
just concentrating on trying to make these pitches really do their work. So when she's throwing her curve and her drop, she takes a little bit of pace off, getting a little bit more ball spin on it, getting her locations right. So
Burr stays alive. Another good at-bat from Georgia Burr, who had the first base hit of the game. It just barely left the infield, but it did.
Yeah, it did. And Georgia, her confidence is right up. I saw her, I think she caught the entire under-18 game today, Port Adelaide and Hills. So she's had a workout earlier on in the day. Patient batting, isn't it?
that's what's worked for them so far.
Yeah.
I can understand wanting to be aggressive and so on, but there's no need to rush this. Like, it's, you want to make sure it all counts.
There's times when you need to shoulder arms.
Swing and a miss and a big strikeout from Steph Trzynski. It's her third one of the day. It keeps it a scoreless game at the exact midway point. Eric Ballner, Anthony Weatherston, and Lee Hull calling the action. We also have Dave Muggleton wandering around the grounds. Dave, we've reached the midway point. What do you got for us?
Yeah, guys, I've had the opportunity to talk to both of the coaches. Now, over in the Port dugout, I've got to say things were a little bit tense, but Ben Lucas happy with the batting, happy that his girls are getting the ball into play, and is confident that sooner or later that's going to translate into some runs. Andrew on the other side, cool as a cucumber, no panic stations. He is happy with how things are going, understands that this is going to be a low-scoring game. It ain't going to be 10-10, so they just got to make the most of the opportunities.
Well, Weathers, if you were one of the coaches in the middle of one, how would you be feeling? Oh, give us the positive notes from both teams at the midway point of the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you said, we're halfway, and, you know, Port's defense, like Yo's pitching great. You know, they've been able to limit Eagles base runners. They've been able to limit long balls. So lots of positives, and they've made good contact against Steph, which, as I said, that last time out, they didn't get near her. So lots of positives there. They've just got to put a couple of little things together. Just watching Coach Scott then just talk to the Eagles there. And as Dave just said, cool as a cucumber. He knows that he's got the depth in his lineup. You know, you're not going to win it in the fourth, so it's just a matter of process. Just keep working through at bat.
Yes, and it's a heavy part of the lineup here, 3, 4, and 5.
Lana Kaesler swings at the first pitch. Kaesler, Hoyle, Trzynski.
This West Torrens side, batting-wise, they get on a bit of a roll. They have a lot of extra base hitters, but they're facing this pitcher. Johanna Grau is doing a fantastic job.
Eagles have reached twice today, both from Amber Hood. One was on a walk and one was on a wild throw error from Taylor Chillingworth. Rest of the lineup, a combined 0 for 9. 6 strikeouts.
Tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Usually that equates to not a lot of runs, and that's exactly where we're at right now. A very young infield core for the Magpies. Let's look at Georgia Burr before, just a teenager. Taylor Chillingworth at shortstop, teenager. Charlize Callahan at third base, teenager.
This is disciplined batting from Lana, isn't it?
a big swing and a miss again, and Kaesler has gone down on strikes for the second time today. 7 strikeouts, and she's only faced 12. Sophie Hoyle. First pitch swing, Grauer. Moving down to make the play is Georgia Burr, and it's 2 outs. Eagles going a bit more aggressively early in counts right now.
Yeah, just noticing that too. They've, I'm not suggesting that they would have picked their cue up of Port Adelaide, but they too have also, whether or not they've reached that halfway point, said, well, what we've done to this point, has it got us what we wanted? So let's go.
This is a strong batter for a pitcher. This batter, Steph Trzynski, capable of stand-up doubles. I've seen that plenty of times before. This would be an opportune time if she could.
Jammed a little bit. Grauer, cool as a cucumber, keeps that mojo going. No runs, 4 innings, 3 to play. We've got an epic conclusion to the grand final coming up. What a night. Fans literally jammed all down the left field line, down the right field line, in the outfield, in the grandstands. It's a pressure-filled cauldron. West Torrens looking to break a drought of an unlucky run as Cara Tilton fouls this away. They've been to a lot of grand finals, haven't won one yet, not since about 12 years ago. Port Adelaide's never been in a grand final, and they've been around for over 50 years. Something's got to give.
Something will eventually.
And as the game goes longer and longer, you feel like the magic number in this game could be 1. Both these pitchers play a big role in that. Steph Trzynski's been the best pitcher all season in the competition. Tilton, good piece, but high in the air, fighting the lights. Kaesler made a couple nice plays tonight. That was one of her easier ones, 1 down. Do you get more nervous in these 0-0 games?
I think in a game, in a grand final such as this, when you're in the 5th, you're starting to see the finish line now, and that's where things start to get complicated.
So how do you keep your team's focus on the simple things? Put the ball in play, go from there.
Your messaging at this particular point is null and void. You're really just letting them play. It's the more you get in their way, as I said, I've been guilty of overcoaching before, and there's nothing good that comes of it.
Yes, you've just got to try to not overthink the situation. You know, just remain calm as you can. It's tough work. It's hot out there in the middle. But just remain calm. Do not overthink the situation. Just keep forcing them around people that get on base until they're in a scoring position.
That must be petrifying as a coach, knowing that it's, at this point now, it's almost out of your hands and you're just hoping it goes well the last few innings.
First Eagles premiership, I didn't see the last innings. I had my head between my legs. I didn't see nothing. I was terrified.
Angler, opposite
Nice
field.
little poke, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just have to let them play. You sort of take you transition from being a coach to just now like a game manager. Now your role is simply to try and watch what the opposition's doing and see if you can pick up on something that you can work on, but also making smart changes in regards to base runners, who's fast, etc.
Angler, she's so close, isn't she? And you feel like when she gets one, it's going. She might not have many more at-bats. In fact, she might not have any more at-bats after this one. We already in the 5th inning. This is a 7-inning game. Or it could be more. Swing and a miss. Steph Trzynski, 4 strikeouts on the day. She's retired 4 in a row. Hasn't allowed a hit since Cara Tilton had one in the 2nd inning. The others have been on a walk, a fielder's choice, and an error. Jess Neves, the one that had that walk. Like you said, Lee, just a small strike zone.
Yes, it makes it more difficult as a pitcher, especially if the batter with a small strike zone has a lot of patience. She has, Jess. And she knew it then, Jess. The look on her face knew that I should have swung at that. It was just sitting there. Well, at speed, it was sitting there, though.
That was the one for her.
Yep.
Well, she's behind now.
Yes, it's not the sort of pitcher you need to get behind in the count, is it?
Now Trzynski has a couple pitches she can play with to try to get you out. And she does not miss very often. Neves up the middle, a great grab! Amber Wood!
That's play of the final so far.
Takes away a base hit. This will look good on the leading team's replay.
What a backhand by Amber Hood. Stayed low, glove open, just, yeah. You can practice that as much as you want, but to do that in the 5th innings of a grand final, it's pretty impressive. So,
Eagles defense standing up. We're in the innings break, 0-0. Dave Muggleton, our roving reporter. Dave, what's up?
Oh, this is a hell of a game, isn't it, boys?
It is. Is it tense out there in the stands?
It is incredibly tense out here, but mostly celebratory as like some big plays are coming through. Anyway, boys, I've got a treat for you. I have Terry Lamory here. She was an outfielder for the Eagles starting in the late 80s. Now, Terry, how many championships did your side win?
Oh, back when we were playing, probably 6 or 7, I would say.
So you've been here a couple of times before.
We have indeed.
So, as someone who's got a lot of insight as to what it's like to be out there in a championship game, what are these girls feeling right now?
Well, the girls, the Eagles in particular, have worked really hard on their physical skills, but equally they've worked on their mental skills. So we've worked on the #1 goal this year is for them to just enjoy their softball. And a lot of that then is about focusing on process rather than outcome, not getting ahead of themselves and staying in the moment.
Thank you very much. That's great insight.
Thank you.
Yo Grauer back in the circle. Up to bat, Kelsey Nucky. You familiar with Terry?
yeah, absolutely. Terry gave me my first job as a defense coach back in the day when I was just sort of coming through. And Terry was amazing. You know, she effectively built the side that I inherited, when I started my run. So she
A good side.
Oh, I mean, players that we should probably celebrate more. You know, Mel Roberts is one of those players that we just don't talk about enough here, who's just used to be the West Torrens pitcher and was just amazing. She was so good in games like this.
Some players are just born for these big moments, aren't they?
Mel wasn't at all pitcher by any stretch, but she just had amazing control. We used to call her the doc because obviously, ironically, she was a doctor. But she used to get so nervous. She just never really had true faith in her own ability, how good she really was.
Yeah, lovely girl, Mel, and I had her in the secondary school state team. She was terrific. She made the Australians team in that year, I think it was. Don't ask me what year to be exact.
Nucky in the air. Maslin will make a play, and she makes the play in foul territory. Gets to end the at-bat early, and Maslin, who made that key catch in the preliminary final, doesn't take away a base hit because that was looking like it was going foul, but it does end a dangerous hitter early.
She makes it look so easy, doesn't she? Look, nonchalant with the play. It wasn't a bad attempt from Kelsey. That's her strength, hitting the ball down that line.
Brody Borovnik up to bat. In a 2-1 game that Port won versus Sturt, Maslin not only had a decisive double off the wall that helped score that run, but Belle White absolutely crunched a ball that Maslin made a really nice read on, made a big catch, took away extra bases, and eventually what would have been a run, because Maddie Cameron came up to bat right after and knocked a double, and that would have scored a run for Sturt, and we might be an extra inning still right now if she didn't make that catch. Borovnik chases.
You get in the moment, don't you? You get a pitcher that throws hard, and you get in and you're caught into this thinking, oh, I've got to swing hard as well.
Yeah.
It's just because of the pace of the pitch.
Well, we've certainly reached the point in the game now where mistakes will be magnified.
If you've heard us on the broadcast talk about Yo's screwball in the past, what we're talking about is the reverse of a curveball to a right-hander. So in softball, the curveball to a right-hander from a right-handed pitcher is the one that goes away. The screwball is the one that goes in, which is very, very difficult to throw. It's not everybody throws it, but it's one of Yo's great weapons because you think the pitcher's going to be inside, so you question whether or not you're going to leave it, and then it breaks in on you and does its damage.
8 strikeouts now for Grauer, and she gets ahead on Carly Allen. Grauer has retired the last 6. She walked the first batter of the game, and since then, no walks. And only Amber Hood has reached on an error.
Gee, that was a good pitch, wasn't it?
Oh, just
dropped. It dropped.
I don't know if you could see that on the TV, but like literally here, it looked like it just broke at a right angle. Yeah. It was crazy.
And she's way ahead now. Well, Allen went chasing.
Wow. So, I mean, we're bottom 5 here. The Eagles are at their 8th hitter. So Port are going to come around in the top 6 at the top of their lineup. And Jess Nevers, I think, gave the blueprint. She fell behind in the count, that she half swung, put the ball in the play. And even though the Eagles defense was good enough to come up with an amazing play by Amber Hood at second, at least it was a good clean piece of contact. Port's next 3 batters have got to make sure that they're putting the pressure on this defense.
It's well put. It forced West Torrens to make a spectacular play. Would she go around? No. And Port Adelaide have forced West Torrens to make a few spectacular plays today. They've turned a double play. They've had that great backhand play from Amber Hood.
Putting the ball on the ground is a start, isn't it? A big start. Is that pitch again?
They've probably been the team of the 2 that's applied a little bit more pressure. Not
For
much
sure.
more, but
yeah. I suppose there's that sense of nothing to lose type of, it's an achievement to make it, but
They're playing with house money.
You don't want to sit there for 6 months and think about we were 0-all in the 5th, and you don't want to be content just getting there. You want to sort of make something of it. This is history for them, so it's the reality of it's huge. But as a player, you don't want to think like that. You got to keep focused on the job in hand at the moment.
Allen's done a good job of working herself back after falling behind 0-2.
Yeah, one thing at a time, just one thing at a time. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, well, as Terry said, and we've heard Mel McGee say it on the broadcast before, that mantra of process over, result.
The result will take care of itself if you do have the correct process.
Battle won by Grauer. 9 strikeouts through the first 5 innings of a grand final, and there is literally nothing between these teams. We're going to head to the 6th, the same place we started. We'll be back. What a night at West Beach on beautiful Ghana land. The grand final giving us a treat. We've got a pitcher's duel of epic proportion as a Magpie stands on the stands and gets its own.
Just above the scoreboard.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the best seat in the house.
Unbelievable. Maybe a sign of things to come for the Magpies. Great atmosphere down here at West Beach, waiting for something to explode. This is the 3rd time now through the lineup now for Port Adelaide. Lee, as Gemma Letton comes to the bat, maybe time to strike?
I think I'd try a running bunt here. She's got leg speed, and maybe that's the thing they're not expecting, West Torrens.
Well, it depends on where Hoyle and Nucky set up.
Yep.
Both look like they're setting up deep at the moment.
She laid down a bunt in her last at-bat, and she swings. Jammed over towards second. It's 1 pitch, 1 out. And now we've reached the stage where you ask, is that the last time that you'll see Gemma Letton? 6th inning.
It's going quick, isn't it?
Games are only 90 minutes in the regular season. We've played 71 so far here. We would probably go the distance if it was a regular season minor round game.
Something tells me we might be going past the 90-minute mark the way we're going, though.
Or past the 7-inning mark the way we're going.
Certainly starting to feel that way.
It's a race to 1 right now.
And that 1 run looks a long way away, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, you see the type of pitch that was there. I mean, like Chillingworth in the right spot. She swung at the the right pitch, and then when she's got to the ball's just broke on her, and it's not there anymore. That just shows you the mastership that like Steph's got with what she's doing.
Chillingworth battling though. It's all you can ask.
All you can ask from your number 2 hitter, isn't it? Try to get on. That's what I thought.
It is
maybe a running bunt from Gemma, just trying to break it up.
We said it just last innings, Port's first 2 batters, one of them's got to get on and give the 2 power hitters that Port have got in Grauer at 3, Maslin at 4, who have done it in the finals so far in both the semi and the prelim. Give them that runner to bat in.
Give them the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I agree.
That's who's due up next, Yo Grauer and then Jess Maslin. And we are in the 6th, so there's no guarantee they get another at-bat in the game. Foul tip right back to Carly Allen, and it's 2 down.
Yeah, that's great pitching by Steph.
Five on the day for Trzynski, and it leaves the bases empty, as you just outlined for us, Weathers, for someone that's got a .509 on base percentage, a .511 average, and who can crunch the softball.
Yeah, it would suggest that Steph would be trying to keep the ball out of power zones at the moment. This late in the game, one mistake, one error, one play could go a long way to deciding how this is going to play out.
Very important turn at bat here.
Grauer in foul territory. Nucky makes the play. It's 3 up, 3 down, and Trzynski has weaved her way through 6 clean innings. She's allowed just the 2 hits. And Port Adelaide haven't had a hit since the 2nd inning.
Yeah. That's a great innings by Steph and the Eagles. Like, it was really important to be able to come 1, 2, 3 in their lineup, and she's retired the 3 of them. And the ball hasn't left the infield. You can see now the Eagles just gathering in front of the dugout. As Coach Scott and Coach Lamery would be just having a bit of a chat about those things that Terry was talking about. Just, you know, there's that feeling of going to the plate and wanting to be the one, but it's at this particular time, it's more important for your team just to be a base runner, just to give them a chance, give them something to work with.
Remember where we are in the game. If the Eagles score in this half innings, then we're looking at the next 3 outs being the premiership outs.
It could happen that quickly. And the bad news for Port Adelaide is that Fuss is at 9. She's coming to the plate, which means Hood, who's been great tonight, she's at 1. And then you've got Beale at 2, who's an advancing, batter before you get to the Eagles power group. So
Hood, the only player to get on base for West Torrens today, a walk and an error. The rest are a combined 0 for 15. So it's been hard to get on base, but it's not impossible. West Torrens, they've played some great defense all throughout the game. They had that double play when they had the leadoff runner in the 3rd. They got a strikeout from Trzynski in the 2nd inning when there was back-to-back hits from Port Adelaide. They've had a nice backhanded play from Hood. Yo Grauer, meanwhile, for Port Adelaide as she goes against Mary Fuss. 9 strikeouts. She's been their best defender. And Cara Tilton can't understate how good of a game she's called and caught behind the plate.
Yeah.
Fuss puts it in play.
So Grauer still getting her for bat speed in the 6th after throwing, a heap of pitches. So
in foul territory, Georgia Burr having a look, trying to track it, and she makes a crucial catch.
Excellent catch.
Ends another at-bat early.
So Grauer's throwing to the number 9 hitter on 2 strikes, and she's still attacking her down the middle. That's confidence.
They're not going to give them
So
an inch.
you're saying she's feeling good?
Oh, yes, certainly. Well, there's no runs against her.
Different scenario now. I think this is going to be the most important bat.
4-pitch walk in the 1st inning, and then she put the ball in play. Chillingworth made a great play at it in that 2nd at-bat, and the throw was off the mark, and that is how she got on base.
Yeah, but if Amber Hood gets on base, the danger is, of course, is that with her speeds and her smart base running.
Hard hit ball, right field, right at Liz Angler, who has to move on and make the play. It's 2 down.
The impressive thing about Liz Engler is she doesn't panic, does she?
No, I was just about to say.
She casual goes. It looked like it was going to drop in.
I know. I was thinking, I thought, gee, you're taking your time getting in on that, and it's like, no problems. I got this covered.
That's 2 out of 2. She's done the same.
Yeah.
It's just her body language is terrific.
Jackie Beale comes up to bat. You've seen players in this competition overplay the ball in the outfield. They run in too much, ball goes over their head.
Yeah.
As this ball put into play, that goes foul.
You always say that to juniors, but I remember we used to talk about that with seniors. It's the hardest thing as an outfielder. The first thing that you have to do when the ball comes off the bat is nothing. Is just stand there and let it come.
That can't be easy.
And then figure out what's going to happen with it, because your natural instinct, as soon as you see the ball coming towards you, your natural instinct is to run at it.
Jackie Beal. She's had 2 excellent at-bats in this game.
Yeah, she has.
Hasn't got rewarded for them, but nobody has, really.
But she changes the Port's defense straight away. I mean, obviously, Callahan's fielding shallower than she normally is. Burr's also conscious, and Neves has to make sure that she doesn't get caught cheating to first to cover up for the out. She's got to hold her spot there, and even she's fielding shallower.
Two strikes on Beal now.
But she persists, doesn't she, Jackie Beal? She keeps playing the shot.
Grauer's got a strikeout every inning except for this one so far. Well, scratch that. Grauer's got 10. And we are going to the final inning of a grand final, all knotted at 0. And Andrew Scott is irate down the left field line. Umpire down the first base line called her to go around. It's not going to matter. It's not going to change. The important thing here is that we're knotted at 0 going through 6. Yo Grauer allowed a walk on the first batter of the game, and since then, she's been nearly perfect. There's just been the error that Amber Hood has reached, but she struck out 10, and the only base runner she's allowed since that first batter of the game has come on a walk. Meanwhile, Wes Torrens, maybe not as dominant in the circle, but still pretty dominant, to be totally honest. Steph Drzezinski's pitched unbelievably amazing so far. The Eagles' defense has been big. Here's a look at the replay. Saying they went around. And that's what the call is going to be. They were adamant about it. So here we are, 7th inning. We are going to the last, exactly where we started, Lee. This is just nerve-wracking all around.
Be nice to see a runner at third base for a change, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. Can't stress how important, though, this is, because this game at the moment is going to be settled by the bottom 4 or 5 hitters in the lineup. That's the scary part. So, you know, Maslin, Callahan, Burr for Port.
Maslin, first pitch swing.
She's got power, hasn't she, Jess?
Well, we're effectively in extra innings now.
Yeah. I mean, we said before, I mean, Yo's the same. I mean, both her and Steph are throwing 70% first strikes. I would say that Yo at the moment would be closer to 90 at the moment. She is challenging every hitter that comes to the plate.
Well, Maslin rather is swinging early here. Pings a couple foul, but at the end of the day, Steph Drzezinski's raced ahead 0-2.
Mary Fuss could be in the seat here, the box seat for this if she gets hold of it. Puts it in the play, it'll go Mary's way.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when that premiership moment is going to come. And it can come literally at any time.
Well, I'm more interested in the how at the moment.
I can't see the road. It's not very clear. It's amazing you've watched how many games of softball and still it perplexes you. That's what makes the game so good. Even this is a good battle from Maslin. 2 pitches that she fouled away. She had good hacks at. She chopped one to stay alive. Now takes a ball, and all of a sudden an 0-2 count has turned into at least a 5-pitch at bat. In play. Kaesler has to charge on. Makes the throw across the diamond, and the leadoff batter is retired.
She's so good at shortstop, and she attacks the ball. Every chance, every opportunity she gets, Lana, she'll attack the ball. She doesn't wait for anything.
So Callahan had a good shot, I believe, up the middle last time. So
She had one, yeah, just to right center right field.
Yeah.
And Mary Foose had to make the play. She also, you're right, had a shot up the middle on her first at-bat that Steph Drzezinski had to make a nice play on. So Callahan's being competitive here. She's putting the ball in play and putting some pressure on West Torrens. And West Torrens has not given in to any of the pressure that Port Adelaide has put on the base path so far. It hasn't been much, but it's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit, and there might turn out to be a lot shortly.
Steph Drzezinski has not, and we got fireworks in the background all the way from Glenelg. How's this? This is perfect. Fireworks to
Touch
end
early.
an amazing season. How fitting will this be?
Touch early.
They timed it. They said, yeah, we told them the game might end at 8:30. They've gone, 6 minutes earlier.
Well, we need fireworks here, don't we, to decide the winner of this championship.
Steph Drzezinski is not allowed a hit since the second inning. She allowed back-to-back hits, and both of them, one of them was in the infield, one of them was barely in the outfield, and since then she's allowed one walk, an error, and a fielder's choice. And there's some fireworks. Callahan to the wall. Callahan is going to go to second, and that's where she'll stay. Charlize Callahan with a big hit.
Perfect.
Right
What a
on
great-
cue, Lee Hull.
Yeah, what a great shot this is from a young player. My goodness, and that's power. There was enough on the pitch, wasn't there? Enough pace, and she just timed it beautifully.
Yeah, and good base running, and you could see that she had that look over to third to see whether or not the coach was going to try and stretch it out to third, but did the smart thing.
With fireworks in the background, the biggest hit of the game, Charlize Callahan, a double. And now with only one out, there's a runner in scoring position, and Georgia Burr, the transfer, the teenager. Huge moment for her. Chop foul. This is the final regulation game inning. We talked about the last half inning, that if West Torrens scored a run, then it's the premiership outs coming in this inning. That didn't happen, and now Port Adelaide have that chance to put the pressure on.
Eric, and Anthony, this is when you have your outfielders in, because you can't afford a little Texas leaguer landing short of the right fielder or the centre fielder, because this runner, Callahan, will score. And it could be the winning score.
I'll tell you what,
that was
the
quick.
anxiety around this place, you can feel it around the air, has just got turned up 6 notches.
You could cut the air with a knife. It's that thick.
Good at bat from Georgia Burr, 2-2 count.
This is an excellent turn at bat from Georgia, isn't it?
Carly Allen, the experienced catcher, just having a quick little chill out session, or what?
Yeah, it's Port's time to make the most of what this is, and they're asking one of their youngest players and one of the most senior players to do that. But also remember, at the end of the innings, West Torrens have got 3, 4, 5 in their lineup. Their 3 best hitters coming to the plate. So this isn't over by a long shot yet.
Strikeout from Steph Drzezinski. 6 on the day, and no bigger than that one.
Still a good turn at bat from Georgia, wasn't it? Young player. Heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Cara Tilton, she's got a hit in the game already. 1 of 3 off Drzezinski, who's pitched another great performance. They're swinging early in counts.
Yeah, I was just noticing Tilton was just a bit closer to the plate than she's been earlier in the night. I'm just wondering, with Steph's go-to stuff being on the inside, whether or not she wanted to give herself a bit more room, try and open up an area to get her hands through and try and pull this ball.
Good point.
subsequently, she could just be trying to make Steph put the ball away and put it into a shot where she can hit behind the runner.
Get her out of her motion. You know.
Doesn't matter now. Steph's in front, so
I throw drop again.
Trzynski looking for the edge, doesn't get it. Tilton lives to fight another pitch, and the potential go-ahead run still on second base.
That's a brave leave in the 7th of a grand final. I'd be anything sort of close at the moment I'm interested in. Great
it's a terrific pitch, that drop ball, isn't it?
Yeah,
that drop pitch.
And that was the first time in 90 minutes that I saw Steph show some emotion just then. She just, when that ball broke, you just saw there was a little pump there. That was the first time that actually a little bit of emotion coming up. And now Eagles 3, 4, 5 in their lineup.
Well, Steph would know that that could be the last pitch she's thrown this season. Could be. But if the Eagles are going to walk this off, here's a look at the leading team's replay. Watch the reaction from Steph Trzynski after.
Yeah, great pitch. I mean, you can see it there on the replay. It's gone above her knees, but, you know, Carly's caught it below her knees. So,
and look at the
dugout.
dugout.
And you can just see that little pump there, so.
Well, Trzynski's going to get a chance to bat in this inning. It's the 3, 4, 5 batters in the lineup, the third time through for West Torrens. So the formula is there. Unfortunately for West Torrens, ever since that first inning where Amber Hood had the walk, there's just been a bunch of zeros that have been put on the board from Yo Grauer. Just the one base runner off an error. There hasn't been a walk. She struck out 10. And outside of Amber Hood, the Eagles are a combined 0 for 18 on the day.
Watching them now, though, I still sense that, you know, they're due. Some of their better players are due to have an impact. And as Terry was saying when they crossed to her before, that's a very relaxed team in the 7th in a 0-0 game. And that's what you've got to be. You've got to be relaxed. If you're stressed, if you're feeling the pressure, then you're not going to be able to execute what you need to do. So a lot's riding on Yo here and Tilton, obviously. But at the same stage, West Torrens couldn't send 3 better hitters to the plate to try and bring home the championship.
One swing of the bat could end it.
Yeah, and your point about being relaxed and that is fine. And it's very easy to be relaxed when you've been in this situation many times before. Yeah.
Lana Kaesler.
She's due.
Comes up to bat. She's 0 for 2. Now, while Grauer has been brilliant in this game, this is the first inning that she will pitch where her team won't have a chance to respond if West Torrens score. So the pressure has turned up a few notches, but Grauer still aggressive.
Well, let's take a second to just talk about how good the both catchers have been catching these pitches. They're not easy to catch, some of those pitches, especially those drops.
This grand final has turned into a classic. We'll be talking about this one for a very long time.
Can't go down looking here in this innings.
Staying alive. There is a massive hush every time that ball leaves the hand of the pitcher. Nervous anticipation across the ground. 0-2 count. Eleven strikeouts in a grand final for Yo Grauer. Sophie Hoyle up to bat.
Yeah, situations like that, you cannot go down looking.
Home run power. How many grand finals have you ever seen here that have ended in a walk-off home run?
None that
They're
I
hard
can
to have
think
come by.
None that I can think of.
Well, think
about you, Weathers.
I mean, it's very unlikely, right? I mean, you think about even the MLB. Only one game in the history of the World Series to end the championship has ended in a walk-off
Here's a
home run.
2-0 count, free hit here. It's a free swing here.
Big pitch coming for Grauer versus Sophie Hoyle. Yeah, she had the free swing. She didn't take it. It's a 2-1 count.
It's interesting if this thing goes to what we think it might be, extra innings. Port's runner at second will be Tilton with Engler as the batter to advance her, and then Neves and Letton to batter in. Subsequently, if this plays out the way it's going, Torrens will have probably their fastest runner in Trzynski, with Nucky probably the advancing batter, and a veteran in Carly Allen who bats .474 with runners on as maybe the person to bring her in. So either way, if it gets to extra innings.
So you're saying Grauer is going to have to be good?
Oh, she's going to have to be very good for these two batters.
Down the line, it's a base hit. Sophie Hoyle rounding first. She's going to make a push for second. She'll get there standing up. And the premiership winning run is at second base.
Gee, that was a good hit, wasn't it, under pressure?
Yeah.
The first hit of the ball game for West Torrens. Yo Grauer had a no-hitter in a grand final with 11 strikeouts up until that moment. And now Steph Trzynski, the reigning calf coral medalist who's been brilliant all season long, comes up to bat. Do you pass her up? Because she doesn't matter if she scores, Steph Trzynski.
100%.
You passing her up, Lee?
Yep.
Just a quick pass from Lee. So Steph Trzynski, who would have wanted more than anything in the world to have a chance to end it herself, isn't going to get that chance. So it's 2 runners on, but Trzynski doesn't matter at first. The only important one is Sophie Hoyle, as Kelsey Nucky comes up with the first of 2 opportunities, and it brings the double play ball into effect.
And it looks like Eagles are going to make a change to their Queensland import backside. Looks like she's on deck.
That would be for Brody Borevnik. But we might not get there. Kelsey Nucky.
This is the Eagles' first genuine chance to score.
Yeah, certainly.
Nucky in the air, and that drops into play. They're going to get the force at 3, and they almost get the 2. Oh my goodness. Wow, was that chaos? Was that an infield fly? What was going on? Wow.
Nothing the runner could do there, unfortunately, in that situation.
Well, Danny Backsky gonna pinch hit. Ben Lucas coming for a quick conversation. Probably questioning, should that have been an infield fly?
That's exactly what he's asking at the moment.
Well, only 1 hit on the game, and it was that double from Sophie Hoyle. So if it's called an infield fly, that changes who the runners are.
Gee, that's a brave throw, that one back over to second at that time.
If that scoots away.
Play the percentages here, nice and tight.
Well, the question is does it change if it's an infield fly, who's on second base?
So
if it's called an infield fly...
So the batter would be out.
And that would put Trzynski back at first.
Yeah.
And it would have Sophie Hoyle at second, and you would rather have Hoyle at second than Trzynski.
Well, Hoyle was replaced by Marschenk as the runner. So effectively, they're just trying to
not have Steph at second?
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Because she quick.
So West Torrens, 22 out, 9-7.
So we've seen Baskai this season hit some great line drives, especially on the right side. So
Needs to be a patient turn at bat here, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, if you've been sitting in the dugout for 90 minutes,
You want to have a look at a couple.
yeah.
Well, she's got as many hits from sitting on the bench today as pretty much her entire teammates combined. So Danny Backside with a chance to be the difference-making player and end it right here.
So everything matters here at the moment. So for ball control for the pitcher, making sure nothing's in the dirt, nothing for free, everybody backing up and making their lines.
Is this the premiership moment? Grower going right after her.
Danny's not going to die wondering, is he? There's a bit of pressure on her, as there is on the pitcher.
Heart-thumping stuff.
Good batting.
Yes, discipline.
But Yo asking the question still in the 7th. She's still got enough confidence to go to her rise.
Strikeouts for Grower. None bigger than that. Seven cannot decide it. We are gonna go to extra innings, and this feels like a game that neither pitcher deserves to lose.
Now, that's a very, very good call, isn't it?
Yo Grower with 12 strikeouts, 1 hit, and 1 walk in a grand final versus a very good Eagles team. Steph Trzynski, she's allowed just 3 hits. She's walked 1. There's been an error in a fielder's choice, and she struck out 7. So now...
So Tilton will become the pinch runner. So what happens in softball when you're in a tie-break situation? You have a runner go to the second base. And so obviously trying to force a result. So normally in a situation such as this, the batter at the plate normally tries to advance that batter, advance the runner into third, sacrificing themselves and giving yourself your 2 hitters. So Engler, who's still hitless for the season, has probably got the most important bunt in her career coming up right about now, I would think.
I think as a coach, I don't know about you, Anthony, but this tiebreaker situation, I love the tiebreaker situation because you need to be able to think as a coach, as a player, and you've just been through what the scenario could be, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge to everybody.
Yeah, so this is about execution,
Yep.
right? So the defense want the out. I mean, in a perfect world, they want the lead runner. So Engler's got a tall strike zone, so expect the ball up in the zone, trying to make her foul the ball away or at least put the ball in the air and maybe double up. They have made the change with the runner.
Young Zoe Thompson stands on second base as Liz Angler comes to the plate in extra innings, showing bunt. It's in play. Thompson gets to third easily, and the job is done by Liz Angler. And Lee, we've heard you a lot on these broadcasts. You love Zoe Thompson. You think she might be the fastest player in the competition.
Lightning McQueen of the softball fraternity, I believe. Coach Ben Lucas says she is the quickest at the club.
First base runner at third for the night.
First base runner at third for the night, and it comes in extra innings. Jess Neves. She's had good at-bats. She swings at the first pitch. Kelsey Nucky will leave that one. They have to leave it. West Torrens have lost a grand final by catching a ball in foul territory and the runner tagging up from third before.
And you know what Lee Hull would be doing right now if he was the coach of Port Adelaide? He'd be squeezing.
Would ya?
I have no comment.
Thanks, Weathers. I think you nailed that one. Jess Neves has had 2 really good at-bats. She's had a walk, and she had a play where she was robbed of a base hit by Amber Hood on a nice backhanded play back in the 5th inning.
Well, the advantage here that Port have got is that they're about to come to the top of their lineup before the Eagles do. The Eagles are 2 extra batters behind.
Neves trying to cash in a run. Just outside. Eagles have lost a grand final and extra innings before to Walkerville just a couple years ago.
This is a very important out for the Eagles, isn't it? They can sit Jess down, and it won't be easy. She's very selective.
Up high, 2-2. Small strike zone.
Ironically, what you don't want to do, though, is put Neves on for free, create a 1-3 situation, even in 1 out.
Yep.
Not that the second runner matters, but it can create a play.
A play you don't want to do.
Count full.
How
Lucky
disciplined is
from
this?
Jess Neves.
Yeah, it's discipline, isn't it? She's a very experienced player, Jess. And it's showing right now.
Looking for her first hit.
Go to the full
Since
count if you can.
returning. The nerve from Neves. Runners on the corners.
So the situation that you can look at that sometimes happen here in what we in softball call as a 1-3 split. Ideally, what happens is you steal your runner from first towards second, and if the defense makes a play towards second, then the runner at third comes off and tries to steal home.
Yep.
That won't happen here. No disrespect to Jess, but she doesn't have the speed to put pressure on the right side of the diamond.
So it's going to be a free base, basically.
And Carly's not going to, under any circumstances, throw the ball away from home and leave it defenseless to have a runner who's only got to run 60 feet to score a run in a
So you're saying Jess
game.
Neves could pretty much walk to second?
Yeah. There's the reason you make that play is because you want the out. But what that walk has done is it's brought a 500 hitter in Letton to the plate. That's the danger that's happened now.
The smiling assassin can go for the kill right now. Gemma Letton puts the ball in play. Jasinski reaching for it. Thompson stays at third. Call at first is safe. It advances the runner.
Gee, that was good play, backup play by Lana Kaiser then. Steph Jasinski nearly had it in the glove, just ricocheted off, and Lana was like a cat and got the out.
Well, Chillingworth's mum played for Port Adelaide.
And
now she gets her moment here.
She's looked good tonight too with the at-bat.
0 for 3, but there hasn't been a lot of hits on the day. Swings at the first pitch. You start extra innings with a free base runner on second base. Port Adelaide did their job, advanced it to third. A walk from Neves and a ground out from Letton. And Thompson held her nerve at third and did not run. So Chillingworth up to bat. Next batter is Grauer. Over towards Kiesler. What a grab! It may have saved a run. It may have saved a premiership. Lana Kiesler with a clutch grab at short.
That is outstanding.
So the situation now is that Borovnik's re-entered for Baskai, and so she'll be the runner at 2. The hard part now becomes Carly Allen, your most experienced hitter in the lineup. She becomes the advancing runner, so the advancing batter. So the options for her is to either hit away
and win it,
which is probably what I would do with Carly, because again, no disrespect to Carly, what she does is her short game, she's not the fastest runner, which means she might not put enough pressure on the first base side and allow them to make a play going towards
so
third.
they could hold the runner effectively.
So I would be giving Carly the green light here.
Well, what are her numbers with runners in scoring position?
So in scoring position, her batting average goes from 386, which is impressive, but it goes all the way up to 474.
So maybe you let her swing.
You'd let her swing, yeah. And Carly has a knack for just putting that ball up the middle, doesn't overextend, But, you know, Brodie Borovnik, she played her 300th game last time they played, but she's still a very young player. She's got 120 feet to cross.
But she's also a lacrosse player, and that is all gut running in lacrosse.
She's fast enough.
She's quick.
Yeah. But I would expect Carly to get a green light here.
I saw Carly lay down a push bunt to second base one final 1 year. Took everybody by surprise.
Yeah.
Would she be game to do it here and push it to Jess Nevis?
She can also end it. Here we go, extra innings. Eagles with a chance to walk it off.
So you see how shallow both of those defense players have come in on Carly, which is probably one of the reasons why she hasn't done anything then to see what they're actually doing.
Up in the air. And that is worst case scenario. They can't advance the runner. Moving in to make the play, Georgia Burr, and it's one down.
Yeah, that's not all lost for the Eagles, though, because the reality is I would do the same with Fuss because I've got Amber Hood on deck, and I'm more than willing to have Amber Hood do it. You notice straight away, first and third have gone all the way back to their base pass, so they're not expecting Fuss to play short. They're expecting her to bat this run in.
Grauer gets her first strike in the at-bat. Right field. Angler charging in. It drops. The runner is held up at third, but it's a base hit from Mary Fuss.
What a clutch hit from the young Fuss. Terrific, wasn't it? Just the right place to hit it.
And it's runners on the corners for Amber Hood. And a chance for the recruit to win it.
There's an argument here that you would pass Hood up and send Bill to the plate, but both of them have looked dangerous tonight, so
yeah, there's only
two outs.
At two out, you just have to go.
They could win it on a tag. Ball in play could win this game.
Yeah, and the Eagles probably couldn't have a better player in form at the plate right now.
Amber Hood can walk it off for the Eagles. And Yo Grauer is cagey.
So Hood knows right now that she's halfway up in the count, 2 balls. She knows she's going to get something in the zone. Still pitching her very carefully.
Lots of pressure on Cara Tilton catching right now. The pass ball ends it.
Stay out of the low pitches here. Just stay out of them. Just about to throw the bat, the number 77 hitter, didn't she? Just about to say that's a base on balls.
Well, turn the volume on your TV up because this is about to happen right here.
Bases loaded.
That was intentional.
She wasn't really too interested in challenging Amber Hood there, was she?
No. The biggest advantage the Eagles have got right now is that they're 1 out.
Yep.
Jackie Beal, can she end it? First pitch swing. Ball in play, puts immense amount of pressure. Brodie Borovnik represents the premiership run.
You know what I play here now, Anthony? I play squeeze, because if she gets out, you've got another runner at third with Kaisler the bat.
You called it.
Thinking about it. Instead, it's 0-2. Grauer has 12 strikeouts in the game. She's struck out a batter every inning. Hasn't got one in the 8th yet. This is the 4th batter she's faced. Lana Kaisler due up. She struck out 3 times. In play, Grauer gets the runner ahead. They're gonna try to turn 2, and it's safe. It was a nervy throw, throwing that down to first, trying to end the inning. But Grauer makes a very simple throw as you look at the leading team's replay.
Yeah, great defense by, you can see Tilton sets up inside the diamond.
That's a nervy one to throw.
Engler was there backing it up, so still well executed. Everybody's still doing their great skills.
Lana Kaesler.
Lana's come off that terrific line drive catch that saved the run, didn't she, in the previous innings? Now she'd love nothing better than make it land somewhere.
Well taken from Tilton. 1-1 count.
This is when the pitcher's just got to take her time, force the batter to wait for you. Don't just get her out of her rhythm, the batter.
She had a crack. 2 strikes.
What a game this has been, isn't it? Gee.
Epic.
Epic. And no runs so far. So there goes your theory about has to be a lot of runs for it to be entertaining. Not correct.
1-2 count to Kaesler. In play. Picked up at second. Neves throws low, but they make the play. And the Magpies hold. They treaded a very fine line, but they never crossed it. And we're gonna play 9. Wow. You'll look at the leading team's replay. Even the throw from Neves was a little low. They made it nervy, but it doesn't matter. It's going in the scorebook as a 0.
Pressure play, wasn't it? It was a pressure play.
I didn't say anything, but I was watching Neves I was watching Port in their warm-up because I was really interested how, being in a first-time grand final, they warm up. And Neves would have missed 4 or 5 ground balls in just the normal warm-up. Just went straight through it. And as soon as that ball's gone out to her, I was thinking, that was exactly what I was thinking was that warm-up. And she stayed low, she came up. It was a very nervous throw, but she got a very important out. So,
and a good take from
Good
Georgia
take
Burr.
from
And
Georgia, yeah.
Neves has to make that play or it's over, and she did.
Yeah.
Credit to her.
but what happens now is
Grauer, Maslin, Callahan.
yeah, like you've got Chillingworth as the fast, smart runner,
Who is quick.
and you've got Grauer, Maslin, Callahan. So it's now Port's opportunity. I mean, don't lose sight. We've still got Hoyle. You've still got Trzynski to come on the other side of this. So, you know, 9 might become 10. So maybe put the kettle on.
Grauer,
So
Maslin, Callahan, do up.
So does Grauer get one shot at it, or does she advance?
I think they'll let her swing at least one. But
Puts
not-
down the bunt. They're going to try to get the runner at third, and she's safe. Lana Kaesler can't believe it, but it's 2 on for the Magpies, and Ben Lucas is fired up over at first base. Here's the leading team's replay.
Sophie Hall read that play so well, and she's in under it for a bang-bang play at third.
This is going to be a good replay, I think.
Excellent bunt.
Yes, that was a great play by Sophie Hall. Coach Scott's come out and asked the question, but
Judgment.
now
Judgment call.
Now you've got Maslin at the plate.
Jess Maslin was the crucial player in the prelim.
Steph goes to her go-to pitch, that hard inside fastball.
See, I would walk Jess. I would walk Jess. I can't afford to let her hit.
We call her Magic for a reason.
Yep.
She knows how to win.
Great pitch, Steph.
Just an epic, epic game. Yo Grauer who is now at first base, pitching. She had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. Eagles had a double in a grand final. They couldn't score the run. Eagles had bases loaded with 1 out and a chance to win it. Couldn't score a run. Maslin with runners on the corners, no out in extras. Ball in play, taken from Kaesler.
Good take by Nucky at first, also was up in the air.
Advances the runner to second. And now Charlize Callahan has a chance at it.
Yeah, well done, Sophie Hoyle. That's 2 big plays by Sophie in the 9th innings. So, but a great take by Kelsey, just the same.
That ball was going to go foul too, and it's a good thing Hoyle took it because she did get the out, but 2 runners in scoring position.
Callahan went to left center.
Callahan up the middle again. It's a base hit. It's the first run of the grand final. It might be 2. They're getting the wave around, and the teenager Charlize Callahan has the Magpies in pole position. Chills. Charlize Callahan, 2 doubles in the game, and she's cashed in 2 runs.
And both those doubles have come late in the game. Terrific batting from a young player.
Her mum is one of the coaches. She played for the Magpies for years.
She did, and so did her mother.
This isn't just a once-in-a-generation grand final. This is a once-in-2-generation grand final for Port Adelaide. They've been around since the 60s. It's over 50 years this club has been around. They've never played in a grand final in the Premier League. And Charlize Callahan has put the Magpies in front. And Weathers, up until a moment ago, as Georgia Burr strikes out, you just had your hands over on your face.
So Hoyle becomes the Eagles' advancing batter, but now chasing 2. That game goes away. So that means Hoyle and Trzynski are just going to stand there and try and swing and bat the Eagles out of it.
Tilton, what a game she's caught. Yo Grauer has delivered a grand final performance that we'll be talking about for years. And Cara Tilton has played a huge role in that. She can cash in another crucial run here. It's in play. Hoyle, slow, surely, makes the play. But the damage was done by the teenager. Charlize Callahan scores 2 on a double, and the Magpies are 3 outs away.
But this is the hardest 3 outs to get, is your premiership outs, because this is the moment. This is the moment that that's been asked of Port all night. Coach Lucas, you can see, he's brought the team in here and he's having a bit of a chat to them, and I hope the messaging is simple, because right now basics are what's going to get you across the line. It's unlikely with the power hitters that the Eagles have got that they're going to try and advance one. The reality is you would expect Hoyle and Trzynski just to swing the score here, because they need 2. 1 isn't going to get the job done. So, which means that Nucky, Borovnik and Allen are going to come back into play and maybe decide this. So, yeah, Grauer's, the first batter here is crucial.
Hoyle, the RBI machine. Trzynski, the reigning calf coral medalist. And Kelsey Nucky, the stalwart at first base for the last few years for West Torrens, are due up. It's a good combination of players to have in this situation for West Torrens. Yo Grauer, she's allowed just 2 hits today. She's struck out 12. She got out of a bases loaded jam with just 1 out in the bottom half of the 8th inning to keep her team in it. She's 3 outs away
from history. I mean, if you're the first pitcher that's ever pitched your club to a grand final, that's nearly worthy of a statue out the front, because That's 50 years in the making. But the Eagles, they've been here before, so they've got the experience and they've got the players at the plate to do the job.
Boyle showing bunt. She lays off.
Just trying to bring the infield in.
Yeah, that's
something
all.
else is going on.
Nothing was going to happen in the bunting.
Should be looking
department here.
Should be looking centre right, centre left.
Kaesler at second. She can run. Ball in play. Scooped up by Chillingworth. What a play!
Gee, she's a good player, Taylor, for such a young player.
Another teenager, and Weathers, you love it.
What? Oh. That's a teenager making a play like that in the pressure of everything that's going on. That's Sophie Hall doesn't hit. She doesn't hit the ball soft. That's an amazing play.
Steph Trzynski up to bat.
But it has put the runner on third, but they do have the out. So any mistakes now at the plate cost a run. And don't forget, if there's one player in the Eagles lineup that can put the ball 240 feet over the fence, it's Steph Trzynski. So fairy tale still may be coming.
Yeah, what Yo has got to do here is keep the ball from being in the dirt, because this run will score.
How many change-ups have you seen thrown tonight, Lee?
None. As big fat egg,
it's
0.
It's been power all night.
To right field. Angler charging on. It drops. It's going to score a run. Trzynski's at second. She's getting the push to third. She'll slide down. And the lead is cut in half.
Wow.
How's that for a clutch hit from the pitchers? Pitched her heart out all night, Steph. Same as Yo. Comes up with a hit like that.
That ball was on the line. Look at how close this was to being foul. Instead, Steph Trzynski, who's the tying run, is now on third base, and just a fly ball, maybe even a ground ball, ties this game.
It's still 1 out.
1 out.
So a sacrifice is still good enough to take this game to extra innings. So Port will be in the bottom of their lineup when they come up next.
Kelsey Nucky represents the championship run now. This is just gut-wrenching stuff from both perspectives. What a game. Nucky took the first pitch. Cracks at the second.
Getting good purchase on the bat, isn't she, Kelsey, tonight? It's a good sign for them.
Just seeing great base running here by Steph. Super fast, super smart on the base pass.
Long way from being over. It's hit to left field. It falls in. There's going to be a play at the plate. She got her!
Look.
The throw of the season. Jess Maslin. Well, let's see if we can get a look at this again. Lucas is gonna go and settle this down. This is so tight.
I think you'll see Steph's hand touches the base before the play comes in, before the tag's laid.
Yeah.
So great throw, but you see Steph here, goes around.
Yeah, she touched it.
She did.
Unless she touched her right there.
That's what I'm thinking
The umpire
the umpire saw as she was going
as she
past.
was sliding, yeah. Right here, this will be a good look.
Ooh, hits.
Wow. And that was the tying run. Instead, Port Adelaide are 1 out from history.
Terrific play from Jess Maslin. Real pressure play.
Nucky is still at first on a very clutch hit from her. What a throw in from Maslin, though, just to challenge that, as Brody Borovnik is the last hope. What a tough call to make. It's an impossible position to be in, isn't it? Instead, it's the Maslin throw that might have got them across the line. Wild, wild scenes.
And Brody Borovnik has had hits in finals.
She's had it, and she's hit off of Grau before, so
this would be an opportune time.
Yep, and Yo's not as fresh as she was in the first. It's just the 9th, so it's a long night.
Borovnik having a crack. I mean, 2 strikes.
We're 2 hours, 10 minutes, which is 40 minutes longer than a normal game, so that's tough for both of the pitchers. So
Grauer has 12 strikeouts tonight, and she's 1 strike away from bringing the power of Grauer to a conclusion. A championship, generations in the making. Port Adelaide, our premiers.
Nobody deserved to lose that game.
No,
that was
great.
That was amazing. That was an amazing game,
and it was the throw from Jess Maslin in left field to gun down Steph Trzynski that won them the championship in the end. A double from Charlize Callahan scored the 2 runs for the Magpies in a game of inches. This one was determined by a millimeter.
Yeah. That's 9 players whose name's going to be etched in history in that softball club forever now. Would be an amazing feeling, but West Torrens, I mean, they just kept coming all night, and just, as I said, nobody should lose a game like that. That's just amazing.
What is there to say? Cara Tilton caught an amazing game, applies the tag at the end, and it's just heartbreak for the Eagles, who have been to so many grand finals in recent years. They've been so close, literally so close. They had bases loaded, 1 out in extra innings and a chance to win it. Charlize Callahan delivered the crucial run. She's with Dave Muggleton on the field right now.
And yourself and the Port Adelaide Magpies are champions. How do you feel?
Amazing. I think we're so deserving. We've worked so hard for this all year, and we're making history here, so that's amazing. We're a great bunch of girls. I couldn't ask for a better team. It's been amazing this year.
So Steph Trzynski does not let up runs very often. You got 2, including the critical double extra innings go-ahead run. How was that at bat?
Yeah, I was quite nervous, but I've been working really hard for this. Making sure I'm keeping relaxed in the box, and the main thing is just like any other at bat. Yeah.
So, just with the girls behind you celebrating the win, what does this moment feel like?
Oh, it's amazing. This is like nothing before. And the amount of pressure we've experienced on the diamond today, it's just been amazing to have this outcome. We really deserve this.
Well, congratulations. I'll let you go celebrate with your team.
Thank you so much.
That was incredible. Port Adelaide have waited a long time for that salute. The game had everything. Epic pitching performances, clutch hitting, great defense, a little bit of controversy sprinkled in. And either way, the Magpies The history books are going to record it as a win, and that's never going to change.
And, you know, Yo Grau, the one thing that can't be underestimated was she's thrown 9 innings, a 2-hour game against arguably one of the best offensive lineups in the league. Destiny on her shoulders, and she threw amazing.
Lee, of all the grand finals you've seen, where does that pitching performance from Yo Grauer rank for you?
Rates right up there. I've seen Monica Perry, the pitcher, you know, was outstanding. But this game had everything. It had extra innings, 2 of, and unfortunately in games like this, there has to be a winner and a loser. But that's how it goes.
Weather said it the best.
Yeah.
This game did not deserve a
No,
loser.
it doesn't deserve a loser.
The key plays, the Grauer strikeouts, the Callahan double that scored runs, and of course, Jess Maslin gunning down the tying run from left field.
And Jess has got to play in the grand final of baseball tomorrow night, Eric, where you and I will be there.
We'll be calling that game.
We'll be calling it.
Well, as Port Adelaide, final thoughts first, gentlemen.
Just
what is there to say?
Yeah, look, thanks for the opportunity to be here tonight. That was, I hope everybody enjoyed that game as much as, that's as good as it gets. So, I mean, commiserations to West Torrens, super brave and didn't deserve to lose. So, but congratulations to Port Adelaide and, being history, that's awesome.
79 games played this year. That was the classic, wasn't it? The piece of the resistance.
We'll talk about this game for a very long time.
We will.
A pitcher's duel of epic proportions. A teenager I can't even speak anymore. A teenager delivering the winning runs and great defense in the field, taking the cake. A game that had it all. The Port Adelaide Magpies, believe it. The drought is over. They are your premiers. And on behalf of everybody, that's us saying good night.